We are back. It is 9:10 on your Friday morning. You know, we have our next guest booked to be on the show today before Tuesday's tragic school shooting in Texas. When we learned that 21 students and teachers had been killed, we thought it was really important to address this, particularly from the perspective of children.
Dr. Karin Ryan is here with Nystrom and Associates to talk more about it. Doctor, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Good morning.
Where do you start? Do we talk about how adults can deal with it first and then figure out how we talk to kids?
I think so, right? Because we got to check in with ourselves and see where we're at and kind of take care of ourselves, and then we can help take care of kids. And one of the first things is just being able to check in and allow yourself to have a range of emotions, right? Some of us might be feeling still kind of shock and numb and disbelief. That makes sense, right? Some of us have visceral anger. That's valid. Sometimes we feel like we just can't stop crying, or the tears are just right there ready to come, which makes sense. And so it's being able to recognize we have these complex and different emotions at once. It's not just one emotion at a time. Sometimes it's a variety. Like I was processing it with a colleague, and I went through like 6 different things, like hopeful, hopeless, disappointed, angry, like rage, just in all of it, and just devastation within 2 minutes. And so that's normal, but can feel overwhelming.
So how do you as an adult kind of get through it? Because I think we're all feeling that, and like I always say to Chris, like I'm a processor, so something will happen and then the next day it will hit me harder than the moment that it happened. So how do you guide adults on how to deal with this? Is it the talking with other people? Is it the turning off the TV? Is it a walk? What do you think?
Yep, I think all those things you just described, and I describe it as like a leaning in and going there and processing and feeling, and then knowing it is absolutely okay and healthy to say, okay, I'm going to set that aside, and now I'm going to go to work, right? Or I'm going to pick up the kids at school, or I'm going to do the laundry. And so there's this healthy compartmentalization. So that way it gives us that time to lean in and feel. That's what's important, is making sure that we're making that time. And like you said, with those supportive people. So as the adult, can you go to your adult community, your adult support, to process through your emotions, so then when you are connecting with kids, you can do that in a developmentally age-appropriate way.
What is the social media turns into for lack of a better term, it turns into a cesspool after something like this, I think, because people, I guess what I'm asking you, is there some benefit to getting something off your chest and saying something, you know, stepping out on the ledge a little bit to talk about something that's really bothering you like this?
Yeah, I think what you highlight is sometimes what we can feel is a real lack of control and feel like kind of helpless, like how do we make the situation better? And so it's grabbing on to what control is healthy for you. For some people, it's expressing themselves and advocating for change. For some people, it's kind of demanding action or writing to certain Congress people or your representatives. For other people, it's like, I'm just going to pour my love into my kids and be thankful for what I have right now. And so it's finding what's going to fit for you. And then I think what you said then, like with social media, it's knowing when do I want to see that? When is that serving me and helping me process? And when is that just causing me to kind of swirl and spiral and not feel helpful? And so can I just turn it off then?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You brought up the kids, so let's talk about the kids. I mean, obviously, range in ages from little to high school. Let's start with the littlest ones. How do you talk to your kids about this?
Yeah, and I think the first piece is knowing what do they know. And so just real gently, like, what have you heard or what do you know? Because then that allows them to ask the questions. And so we kind of focus on what questions are they asking us, the little ones then, it's giving them real brief and real simple answers. And so when they ask a question, it's just that real brief answer, and then seeing if they ask more questions. And really helping them to identify those feelings. So as they're talking about, like, yeah, it is really scary. Isn't that really sad? And so you can help name that and model that in, again, that appropriate way.
And as they, in their ages, then you sort of adjust that conversation, it sounds like. So middle schoolers, you're talking to them a different way.
Yeah, and then you're really allowing, like middle schoolers, if they start talking, do your best to not interrupt them and let them just process and talk. Right, and one thing that can be helpful is if there is any misinformation or any details that they have really wrong or skewed, you can kind of help guide that to make sure that they have the information accurate. And by answering the questions, whatever age they are, and being able to talk about it, it shows the kids that they can trust you. It shows that when there's a threat or there's something happening, I can trust them, grandma, mom, dad, that they're going to answer. And they're going to talk to me about this. And that helps that safety and security, because then they feel like they're going to get that.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah.
And then the high school level. I mean, these kids are a little bit older. They've been through this more times. They've experienced this. They've seen this.
They have.
It's been their whole lives, quite frankly.
Yeah, and so they're going to have opinions. They're going to have thoughts and beliefs about what has happened in the past, what they want to do. And one thing that you can do is say, how do you feel in your own school? How do you feel about safety there? Is there anything that you would want to talk about? Do you know who you would go to if you were concerned? And the key can be for all kids, all ages, but then especially high schools, who would you go to? Who would you tell if there was a threat or you were worried about a peer? And especially for the little kids when they're feeling like, but what if something bad happens and I'm scared, or who's good, who's bad? Being able to say, who are the people in our lives that we know do keep us safe? Yeah. Who do we trust? And they're going to be able to, like, you can sit and identify, my guess would be 10 to 20 people that you know love them and will keep them safe. And that can be really reassuring.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
On this whole notion that the kids today have grown up with this, it's a reality for them. They've been doing drills in their schools since they were in kindergarten. They have been, it's a reality for them. Megan and I were talking earlier. It's almost like, I feel like the kids are almost numb to it in some sense too. And I know one of my children, and he didn't mean it to come across that way, but it almost came off flippantly to me, because he's like, well, he goes, what are you gonna do? You know? And I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
yeah.
I don't want them to get stuck into that mindset, like, well, let's do something, but you can't blame them for feeling that way. This has been their reality their whole lives.
Yeah, and I think what you can visit with them is like, what is your plan? Okay, so you do know that. I'm so proud of you that you know the plan, that when you have those drills, that's good. And yep, it's healthy that you don't feel totally overwhelmed every time. And so one of the things you can do then is highlight if kids do feel that flush or they are really kind of panicked about it, one skill that you can do is help them focus on right now. And so absolutely that's scary, right? We can't predict what's going to happen for the older kids. For the younger kids, it can be, and are we safe right now? Like, look around. Right now we are safe. Right now you are okay. So when they do feel it tons, that's when you can help ground them and say, right now we're safe. And for kids who aren't going there, being like, yep, and I'm so proud that you know what to do, and we will figure that out.
And it's interesting, in my household, it was a little different. The news came across Tuesday. I saw it on my phone. I purposefully didn't turn on the television because I didn't want my kids to see it. I waited until after school Wednesday and I said, so did your teacher talk to you at all about what happened at that school in Texas? And my daughter said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So then I'm sitting here as a parent going, do I share with her? Do I tell her? Ignorance is kind of bliss.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate the fact that she doesn't know it and isn't worrying about it.
Yep.
But as a parent, I'm clearly terrified about it because my kids are fourth graders.
Yes.
And so it's just, I didn't know at that moment, do you tell this to your kids? Do you share with them what's going on? Or do you let them be little kids and not have to worry about it?
Yeah, I think how you handled it was very wise, where you checked in and said, what did you hear? Did your teacher talk about anything? And I did the same thing with my own 3rd and 5th grader.
Yeah.
I said, you know, what's going on in school? What are they talking about? And I don't know, nothing. And so otherwise, because if I had mentioned it at all, then my kid would want more information. And again, that would not serve her. And so I think it's key pieces, if they know something, then we want to talk about it. And if they don't, then I think you can let them just have that space and not know, because they're doing the drills. The teachers, the staff are already doing what they need to, and so you don't need to put that on them.
Don't put it on them.
Do you have any theories on why? Is it because they were in school, or what it is that? Because I feel like this. I hate to say it, like this time it feels, it hurts a little more.
Yeah.
Why do you think that might be? Or is that just because?
You know, what do you think of when you think of an elementary school? You just think of the innocence and how beautifully happy and loving kids are. You know, I've said I got a 3rd and 5th grader, and they are just the best people.
I mean, they're reading their obituaries,
so patient,
and
they're so
like,
tolerant with one another. And so I think that's what really hits is the age and the innocence and their, inability to defend themselves.
Let me ask you about people that have kids who may be in the elementary level and then the high school level, right? They're on different levels of knowing and communicating. And how do you manage that at home if your kids are there? Do you tell the older one, be careful what you say, you don't want to, scare your younger sibling? How does that work, and what do you recommend?
I like the idea of spending individual time with each of them. And so just even these next few weeks as you're trying to navigate these conversations, just spending that extra time, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes. And so I think you're wise of having them have some separate time, being able to process that, and then just having that open conversation, like, what do you think would be helpful for a little brother or sister to know?
Yeah.
Okay, so it might not serve them. So what do we want to share? Where can make sure you can come to me, you can come to Dad, who do you want to come to if you need something? But let's not put that on them, or together deciding what that might be, because you'll find there's going to be a lot of insight from those high schoolers who
Yeah,
care
that's
about their
true.
younger
Maybe
sibling.
sometimes a little bit too much insight from the older, from the older siblings.
Yeah, yes,
But,
exactly.
I mean, that's where you got to have that
But
conversation.
that thoughtfulness
like,
of what's on TV, what are we
Yeah.
watching, what are we
Yeah.
taking in, and when is that serving us and when is it not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Dr. Ryan, such great advice.
Yeah,
Thanks for
stopping
having the
by.
conversation.
Appreciate it.
Hard topic for sure. Nystrom and Associates provides care in the fields of psychiatry, psychology, family therapy, and more.
So if you're struggling with stress, anxiety, depression, or addiction, please reach out to them or any professional.
Still to come.